So it's just a bit of more food for thought there. How these crop circles could be affecting us on a wider scale. So this is where I think, you know, the research is leading now, that there is something else, there is another element involved in the creation of these things. And this chap has come up with this idea of a morphic field, Rupert Sheldrake, and a lot of people interested in crop circles are tapping into this area now and looking to see there's a link here. This morphic field is like it's like an energy database, if you like, and it basically is recording everything that happens in humanity, going right back way into history, what is happening now, what is happening in our thoughts, what is happening in our actions. Everything is encoded some way in this morphic field, and somehow we are interacting with it. So it could be that the crop circles are a part of that, and human consciousness. You know, are crop circles co-creations of humans and the collective consciousness? This is again where we could be moving. So is there some other guiding force which is not alien, but is actually part of us? Okay, it's part of our history, it's part of our being, that is encompassing everything in it, that is somehow influencing how these crop circles are coming around. You've heard the stories from the circle makers themselves and the weird things that are happening to them. So it's not just a case that they are making these circles because they're geniuses. I think there's something else that is influencing that. And many of them do talk about the fact that these designs that they're coming up with just come to them like that, or they dream them, or they're somehow inspired from somewhere else to come up with them. And they act on impulse quite a lot. So it seems to me like there's this collective consciousness which is in some way linked to these balls of light that are prevalent in that area around crop circles, that is almost using the circle makers themselves to create this, which is in some way presumably essential for humanity. So there must be some overriding goal behind all this, a purpose behind the circles, and they are maybe raising our consciousness ready for the next level, which we need to rise to, because, you know, we can't go on as we are. There's, you know, people are, I know at Truth Juice, we're looking at ways to find solutions to the problems of the world. Crop circles doesn't always spring to mind as the way to solve the world's problems, but maybe on a subtle level, that is having a much greater impact than we realize. And people are waking up, people's consciousness is rising, and there is an awakening going on. And maybe the crop circles are having a hand in that. I'd like to think so, anyway. There's an amazing crop circle that appeared, almost went unnoticed this in 2002, because it appeared on the very last day of the season before the fields were cut. This was only actually visible for a couple of hours. It was appeared overnight, and a couple of hours later it was mowed out. How that was created, I've no idea, because it actually encompasses the human DNA in a 3D, sorry, in a 360-degree form. And people have analysed this, and they, you know, some people say that this is the most complex and well-designed crop circle that's ever appeared in our fields, because there is just so much symbolism in it, and it works on many, many different levels. And so if people came up with that, and they may have done that, they may have made that, I don't know, but I don't know they didn't, then there's something else working through them that has made them come up with that. Because even when the circle makers are confronted with the explanations that experts have given and the meanings that they've attached to them, most of the circle makers doing them are not aware that they had that sort of deep meaning. They're just following some kind of instinct to make this. So there is, I think, a guiding force behind a lot of it. And that, to me, that circle really sums up everything about the crop circle mystery. And it was nearly missed by everybody. But maybe it's not necessarily meant for us to see. The fact that it appeared in the field, even for a couple of hours, may have done its job. You know, and the fact that it was photographed and we can now enjoy it afterwards, maybe it's having even more of an impact.
Was there still some life in the crop, perhaps? Earlier on?
Yes. Well, I think the part that it plays with the crop, I think, is important because the crop is a living organism. And I think the fact that it's like the geometry, the sacred geometry, is interacting with the living organism of the crop. And you've got the dynamics of the sacred geometry in there, the dynamics of that area is important as well, the relationship with the water, all of that adds to it. But yeah, but once it's gone, it sort of does lose its magic a little bit. Well, I was just linking it with this, going back to history, you know, way back in history. Is that the same? You know, we all wonder, you know, about the pyramid. How was that constructed? Was it part of the same process? Was it this collective consciousness that was guiding the human hand in creating something like that? And I think that's entirely possible. These are just a couple of things that I came across in my research for this, which sort of tied in with that. You know, John Keel, a very respected ufologist, I particularly like him because he looks at the whole subject in a very different way, and he was enlightening the whole subject of UFOs. This was in like early 70s or late 60s, saying that they are like a living form of energy. They're from this planet related to the human race. UFOs react to things that are happening to the human race. Everything is interrelated, and the more we study history and current events, the more we start to understand that they are linked together in strange ways. And so we're seeing links across all different types of things, and I think that's very similar to the balls of light that we see in Wiltshire. That's Nick Marchant again. I have a feeling that there is a message coming through from us from a long time ago, from somewhere. There's this feeling that we're moving towards a point and we're being guided to it. You know, that's from his studies of sacred geometry. It's all coming to like the same conclusions. Couldn't go without mentioning this guy from this area as well, isn't he? David Icke's X Factor, what I feel very strongly, and it's coming more and more into my life, that there is an X Factor which I don't understand yet, but sure as hell I know it's there. It's going to bring an end to this playground nonsense of human control. It's an external something, and at a deep level I know it's there. And I think he's talking about the same thing. Okay, just to finish, there's some pictures of things that are happening out, not just in crop. These are in ice, same kind of phenomena. And people didn't make these. Ice circles have appeared very regularly around the world. Again, no explanation really as to how that happens. Maybe they're tapping into the same resonance of the circles. Snow forming around trees with concentric circles, which is bizarre. That's the sand circle that was on the video at the beginning. This is, not much is known about this, but it's reported to be 1.5 kilometers wide. And again, no one knows how it appeared there. Sand circles and grass circles. So this is not something just confined to crop in this country this time of year. There's these kind of things, and I'm sure they're all affected by the same energies we've been talking about. That's just a message to the researchers. We need to stop fighting, stop arguing about who did this and who didn't do this, and try and get this person prosecuted. You know, it's too much hate and rivalry involved. If ever we're going to solve this problem, they need to stop fighting, start talking to each other, and start coming to the conclusions that a lot of people are coming to. And I think it's really important what we're experiencing now. And if we start to look at it like that, start to appreciate the magnificent crop circles for what they are, then we will learn a lot from them. And I think it's still got a long way to go yet, no matter what appears in the fields this summer. Okay, so with that, I don't know about the two on the left. The one on the top right and both on the right, I'm pretty sure are man-made though. They all are, yeah, they all are incredible. But even these astonishing man-made ones, maybe there's another aspect to it. Now, in fact, I'll just very quickly finish with that. Some of these crop circles, people say, why aren't there any mistakes in them and things like that? But a lot of them do have mistakes. A lot of them are made with mistakes. And I've even heard of occasions where a circle maker team has constructed a circle and they've made a mistake, or they've not had time to finish it before it's got light, and then they've gone back the next day, or they've looked on the internet at the photos, and the bit that they missed off is completed. And they can't explain it. They haven't done it. And that's happened a number of times that I've heard about. So there's something else going on, but it seems to need the human element to it, because ultimately I think it is coming from us. Okay, so with that, I'll end. Thank you very much. Thank you.